First, you will start with acrylic yarn. I'm using medium 4 or any yarn you want with a 3.5mm hook. So you're going to start with a loop on the hook, and depending on your cup size, bra size, is how many chains you will make to start. So I put a list on the side here. I am a B cup, so I'm going to make 13 chains, which is about a medium for me. Then you're going to single crochet your way back down the row, just like this. Then once you get to the last stitch, you're going to make 3 single crochets in the same stitch, which is the last one. Then you take a stitch marker or a pin, anything to mark your work. You're going to place it in the middle of the 3 single crochets we made, so the second one. So you stick it right there. That is the center of our cup. And then you continue to single crochet your way back down the row like normal. And you repeat this. Once you get to the end, you're going to chain 1, turn the work, and then single crochet your way back down. And then you repeat that. Once you get to the end where the stitch marker is, remove the stitch marker. Make 3 single crochets into that middle one, the second one. And then again, you place the stitch marker back into the middle, because that's the center. And then again, single crochet back down, and same thing. Once you reach the length that fits best, I recommend just placing it to your chest and seeing how much coverage you want. You're going to insert the hook into the ends, and then you're going to make 3 chains to start, and then skip a stitch and then double crochet into the next one, and then chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next one. And these are creating little windows, which is the border of the cup. So repeat this. Then once you get to the top point of the triangle, you're just going to make a double crochet, chain 1, and then a double crochet in the same stitch. So this is the only part that's different. You're just going to make 2 double crochets into the same one, chain 1, again skip, double crochet, and continue like normal. For the granny square part, we are going to make a loop. You can make a magic circle or do it like this. Chain 4, slip stitch into the first chain, then we chain 3, and then you're going to make double crochets into the center. And you should have 16 total double crochets into the circle. So once you counted 16, you're going to go ahead and count that. Make sure you have 16 double crochets. We're going to slip stitch. For row 2, we are going to chain 4 to start, and then double crochet into each stitch. And then chain 1, and then continue. Double crochet into each stitch of the row. Chain 1 and repeat. Once you're done with that, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 4 we made at the beginning. And that is the end of row 2. So now for row 3, we chain 4, and you're going to make into those big spaces, make 2 double crochets in each. And then at the top of the column right next to it, the one coming up, you make another double crochet. So you'd be making 2 double crochets into the window, and then a double crochet at the top of that column from the double crochet of the last row. No chains in between, and you continue. And then you're going to slip stitch at the top And that is the end of row 3. So now for row 4, we're going to chain 1, and the next stitch make a single crochet. And now we chain 5. And then what we're going to do is skip 2, and then on the third we make a single crochet, and then we chain 3, again repeat, skip 2, single crochet into the third, and then you do that 2 more times with the chain 3, because this will be one side of the granny square. And then once you finish making 3 total of the 3 chains, you make a chain 5, and this is the corner. So same one as we did at the beginning, you just single crochet, skip 2, single crochet, and that's what it will look like. So you're making the corners with 5 chains and the middle parts with 3 chains. So once you're done with that, you're going to slip stitch into that single crochet we made at the beginning. And now that row is complete. Then you will slip stitch into that big corner. For row 5, you are going to chain 3 to start, and then you will make 5 total double crochets into that corner. So the first chain 3 starts as 1 double crochet, so you're just going to make 4 more into that same corner. Then once you do that, you're going to chain 3 and make 5 more double crochets in that same corner. Then you're going to single crochet into that next space, and then you'll make 7 double crochets in the middle space of this side, and then single crochet into the next space, and then you repeat the corners by making 5 double crochets, chain 3, and 5 double crochets. Then you repeat this on all 4 sides of the granny square. Slip stitch at the end of this row, and that is row 5. For row 6, we're going to start with making chain 3 and then chain 5 more. This is just for the beginning to start this. And then you single crochet into the corner, you chain 3, and then single crochet back into that same corner. Then you continue by chaining 5. You're going to skip 5, and in that single crochet that we made from the last row, you're going to make a double crochet. Then you chain 3, you're going to skip 3, and in the middle of that 7 double crochets we made from the last row, in the 4th stitch, you're going to make a single crochet. Then chain 3, skip 3, make a double crochet from in the single crochet of the last row, and then chain 5, and then you repeat. You single crochet into the corner, chain 3, and single crochet back in that same corner. Then you repeat this all the way around. So before you finish this row, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the third chain we made at the beginning. So that 3 chain counts already as part of it, if that makes sense. And then you slip stitch into the next big space and you start on row 7. So for this, we're going to chain 3 just to start, and that counts as the first double crochet, and then you make 4 more double crochets for a total of 5, and then in the corner make 3 double crochets in that same corner, chain 3, 3 more double crochets in the same corner. And this row is basically just all double crochets all the way around. So once you're done with the corner, the next space with the chain 5 space, you're going to make 5 double crochets. So basically, the amount of chains are going to define the amount of double crochets. So if there's a chain of 5, you make 5 double crochets in that space. In the next one, there's a chain of 3, so you make 3 double crochets in the next space. And then again, after this, you'll see, since there's a chain 3, you're going to make 3 double crochets. And the one next to it, there's also chain 3, so you'll make 3 more double crochets. And then the next one's chain 5, so 5 double crochets, if that makes sense. So this is the full complete granny square. You're going to make 2 more of these to complete the top. And then I'll show you now, we're going to make a chain of 5 starting from the ends of the cup, and you're going to slip stitch the cups together. Depending on how far apart or close together you want the cups to be, you can just put it up to your chest and measure it. I made a chain of 5, so I feel like that's a good fit for me. And then, yeah, you just cut it off. And then we're going to attach now the granny square to the actual cups. So basically all I'm doing is slip stitching together. I'm aligning the stitches so that they each are put together one by one. You go through, insert the hook from one side and then through the other, and you pull the yarn through both. So it's pretty simple. It's basically like sewing it together. You're just using a hook. And you continue to do this and make sure they align each stitch with each stitch. So making sure it's straight. And yeah, just center it and continue to do this. So this is what it looks like together. The good thing about this is you can reverse it, flip it, and the seam doesn't even show. So it's nice and seamless. So I went ahead and did that with the other 2. Same process when you're putting the granny squares together. You just flip it and slip stitch it through on everything. Same technique. And that is how you put it together. I will show you how to make the chains now for the ties. So to make the ties, I slip stitch into the tip of the cup of the triangle, and I slip stitch it 2 times just to make it tight, and then I start chaining. So this part depends on you. You can chain 100 or less if you want to just tie it into a regular knot, or a bow, you make it extra long. And then once you're done with the length that you desire, you're going to go back in and slip stitch through. So this is what makes it a little bit thicker as a tie, like a rope. And then you continue to go back down the row until you reach the end, and you slip stitch it back into the tip of the cup. You do that on the side of this granny square. You're going to make a tie that goes in the corner that way, one in the middle, and then one in the corner, and you'll see how it turns out. It holds really nicely and shapes your body in a snatched way. So this is what I mean. It's easier to just show you. I made 3 different ties to make sure it's nice and sturdy and covers the back. And I made it into a bow, and this is the final product. So I will try it on for you, and obviously you weave in the ends and cut the extra stringies to clean it up, but this is essentially what the top will look like. It's so cute for the summer, and yeah, let me show you how I wear it. This is what it looks like on. Once you weave in all the ends and clean it up, it looks like a gorgeous piece of artwork. And yes, it's very comfortable, easy breezy. You can make it in different colors, and it's just such a cute top. I love it. Follow my social medias, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please come back for more. And yes, thank you so much. Bye.